got it. Every time they open it.
I know the reason. I'm just not sure I can handle it.
Told you, Kelly.
Chilly without getting there. Put a barrier up there.
It is definitely chilly out.
Oh, man. I mean, I see chill bumps with chill bumps. Yes.
You talking chilly again? A little chilly out there. Truck's nice though. Up in the car. You all right?
Well, I love Seabird's truck. He tells everybody water.
Yeah. So Punchy normally sits right there on the corner. He's moved over here, said the door opening was too much for him. He's supposed to get worse, isn't it? Yeah. It's Michigan. Get used to it.
You here to hear about Jesus. Hey, at least we play. At least we play. Good point. Hey.
Yeah.
in and he jump on me. There you go, Bob. Oh, you gonna leave your hat on? Oh, you coming on? Come over here. I still feel it when you're over here.
Now I'm really gonna be messed up.
How you doing?
Oh, snap.
Yes, I am.
I don't even know what that means.
It just means when the door opens, it's cold over
That,
there.
yeah, that's, huh? You look familiar. What's up, buddy? Hey, before you leave today, talk to me. Yeah, I might have something for you. Hey, if you're smart, you not sitting over there today. Yeah, that's Issa. Before you see me, matter of fact, come here right now. You don't even, not even before you see. Good morning, everybody. Come here, babe. Come here. This is your parents' fault that we having this conversation right now. Okay, come here, baby. Ooh, you missing some teeth too, huh? Look, this is your parents' fault. I've been waiting for you to see you. I've been waiting to see you and waiting to see you. I have this for you, babe. Yay. Yeah, you take that back there and say, bad daddy. Next thing I got to say to you, Lionel, is I got your text, right? And you said, I'm going to drag my parents.
I knew he was going to say something when they could be here.
Yeah, how can you drag somebody in front of you? I don't even know how that works. By the way, the comedy show went well. See? The comedy show went well. How many of y'all watched it? Yeah. So y'all were either really nice to me or y'all lied. I'm not sure. But my cousin wrote on my Facebook page, he was like, honestly, I was scared to watch it because if you were bad, I didn't want to lie to you. Anthony. And I was like, no, I don't want you to lie. I want you to be honest. If I'm bad, I don't want to be up there making a fool of myself. But it was. Special shout out to John and Lake.
It was eight people who did the stand-up, and you came in, what, 7th place?
And there was about 30 people who showed up there, and you was early. Surprise. Yeah, drove 3 hours across the state and made it there a half hour early, lives 10 minutes away from church, and is usually 20 minutes late. It's still working. That joke is still working. I used that joke Friday night, too. And I told everybody in Detroit that she was a Chicago Bears fan. Yeah, and then she had the nerve to keep talking. Oh, yeah, well, you started out, Matt started out saying, see, we got Detroit Lions. I'm from Chicago. I thought they was going to jump you. So for those that don't know what we're talking about right now, Matt was gracious enough to invite me to a open mic comedy show for clergy this past Friday in Detroit, or in Ferndale. And so we went and hung out. Matt's a comedian, and I am a wannabe. So we went, and there were 7 of us, well, 8 with the host, who was quite funny. But there were 7 comedians on, and we were all there just kind of doing something. There was like 2 or 3 of us. That was our first time ever. But it was a lot of fun. So maybe I'll get to do it again. So.
You are definitely in the top 10.
Everybody. 2,000 comedians out of work, and you trying to be one. Yeah, I would agree. No, it was great. Hey, I do have a few announcements, so let me run through these. First of all, something that I haven't said in a long time, and this is really to our visitors. Welcome. If you're watching us on social medias, not on TikTok, but if you're watching us on social media, anybody not know what I just said? Did that not make any sense? Somebody raise your hand if you didn't know why I said not on TikTok. Okay, just checking to see if there's anybody in here who slept under a rock last night.
What happened?
TikTok got banned, and it's closed. Yeah, 9 o'clock last night, people were losing their minds. You would have thought it was Y2K again.
As soon as Trump get in office, he gonna pull it back up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming back. I mean, yeah, somebody's gonna kill somebody if they don't, probably. But So if you're watching us on socials, good morning, and thank you for tuning in. Say hello to us. Those of you who are in the room, welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if there's any around, but if somebody who knows, we have yellow cards. And Tanisha, they might be in that back cabinet. But I always forget. I've been forgetting this for months now. But if you're a visitor and you want to let us know who you are, we have these yellow cards. We'll get them, and then we'll just put some up here. You can grab one, fill it out, and you can put it. Oh, Grady Chris has some right there, too. So if you don't want to walk up front, Grady Chris has some, too, Tanisha. You can just grab a yellow card, fill it out, let us know who you are. We just appreciate that. You can put it in this yellow box, or this white box. My father's colorblind, not me. You can put it in that white box, or you can just leave it on the table or whatever. We'll get it. And if you have prayer requests, you can put those on there as well. Navigators groups today, and Dave, it's good to see you. Dave's going to be leading us today, so those of you who are staying after, we got food coming. Bible study for the ladies, digging deeper into the sermon from this week, and then men, we got Colossians, so that's on Wednesday night. Robbie, how's Dad doing?
He's back home finally, so back surgery went well, so now it's just a matter of PT and rehab.
Sure, and you're going down?
I go down a week from today. I'll
Okay.
go down for a week to help to be part of the care.
Part of the care team, right. All right, good deal. Kevin wanted me to let everybody know that tax slips are available, so if you need a slip for your giving for taxes, he has those. There's a group of our men that aren't here this morning, a couple of our guys that are normally here on Sunday mornings, and a couple that aren't here on Sunday mornings but are normally here on Wednesdays. They traveled to Grand Rapids this morning to be with one of our Wednesday night guys. They're with Bill, with Wild Bill. He's given his testimony at his church, and so they drove down to be with him to fellowship. So be in prayer for their travels today especially. On the table right next to the planner, there are devotions available for today's message. So for those who are visiting and who haven't been here, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been providing 5 days of devotions off of the sermon for today. So you can grab those, and it can give you more in-depth reflection and contemplation, if you will, around that. On this afternoon, this evening, at 4:45, there's going to be a commemorative march, as long as it's still going. And that's going to be downtown at Mount Zion Church of God in Christ. The march is from 4:45 to 5 o'clock. I know the one in Grand Rapids did get canceled today due to weather, so I haven't heard anything about this one, but Randy gave me the flyer. But at 5 o'clock at Mount Zion, there's going to be an ecumenical service, and Pastor Kai Guy is preaching. It's going to be at Mount Zion, but it's in celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. King. So if anybody's interested in attending, yes, sir.
So the march actually begins at Central United Methodist. It's only like
Half a block, yes, yeah.
It's like a 5-minute march.
So
But nonetheless.
thank you for saying that, because I didn't read the bottom. Yeah, we will promptly meet at 4:30 at Central United Methodist, and we'll march to the ecumenical service at Mount Zion. All right, so if anybody wants to partake in that, you can do that. Please, if you go to the march, please dress warm.
And it's a commemoration of the Reverend Dr. Martin.
Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, all right. All right, I was like, wait, I said that part. No, I said it fast. Martin Luther King. Only a few of y'all got that. I want to read this card, and then that's my last announcement before you come, Kelly. Dear Pastor Joe and church family, my mother taught me to not make excuses, but to accept responsibility. However, I'm about to do both. 2024 was a busy year, summer through December. Anyhow, and as a result, I never expressed my heartfelt appreciation to you and your congregation, not only for the support shown during April's illness and passing, but also for coming alongside during her time here on earth. I can't begin to count the number of times she mentioned you and her church family, The shared experiences, women's retreats, church picnics, etc., the phone calls and visits, the prayer support, etc. Now that I've heard your messages and met and talked with a few of you, I understand why she had as many praises and gave thanks to God for all of you. I also thank God for the help, the food, the money, the physical space to gather, grieve, and the services provided in her honor. so many ways you have continued to support us. Thank you from the family of April Gall. And so that came this week, and I wanted to share that with you. I thought that was pretty awesome. And for those that don't know, April's birthday was April 1st. January 1st. Yeah. So at the end of New Year's Eve, I didn't express it, but I was a little somber because normally at that service, I'm saying happy birthday to her right after. So, So we have one more really cool thing. If you haven't noticed, if you look at the altar, we have some new adornment. And so, oh, yes. This dude right here, third, right? Yes. Philip took third place in city meet yesterday in wrestling. And he wasn't too bad. I was there. The problem with these young kids, when they start, doing well, these young kids start feeling themselves and think they can whip you. And, and I be trying to tell them, don't get your ambitions and your abilities confused. Y'all remember Alex's open house? And well, you should have tried to choke me out at your open house. You tried to kill me. But now your wife, your little girls, and your mom and daddy here, so I'm not going to do this. That's not the real reason I'm not going to do this. The real reason is I remember you almost choked me out at your open house. So that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. That's all right. It wasn't funny. His dad gonna say it was funny though. Man, y'all, for those that don't know, the dude grabbed me and put me in a chokehold and I was about to pass out at his open house. It's funny now. It was not funny that morning. So, Kelly, would you please?
Good morning. So the time between Epiphany and Lent in the church is called ordinary time, and it's green, and green symbolizes hope, growth, and life. And it's a time where we are supposed to focus on our spiritual growth and to reflect on our walk with Christ and how we can be followers of Christ in our everyday, ordinary life. So the symbols up here are the green floral arrangements for the green ordinary lifetime, and the banner is green, and it has a vine growing up the center representing our spiritual growth, and the cross, of course, for Christ, so our spiritual growth in Christ.
Thank you. I again, like we said the other day, I'm just really encouraged with it not being beauty, but it being ministry and meaning. So I love that. I want you to turn to Luke chapter 2. Hey, Ro, Baton Rouge, right? Yes. Yeah. My friends here just moved back. Yeah. Not Lionel's parents, my friends. There's a difference. I actually, Missy, you my friend. You just was dogging me out just a minute ago, talking how funny it was. Yeah, I forgot. You're not on this no more. Oh yeah, true. He didn't whoop you. Yes, I do. You would have told me that part. Luke chapter 2. We're going to look at verses 1 through 11, but before we do that, we're going to play a video. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually going to be John 2. Luke, that would be a few weeks ago. That would have been in Luke 2. But John chapter 2. Thank you. Water and wine. And we're going to gather around this song by Gungor, but they're going to play the video this morning. What areas of your life feel empty or inadequate? And how can acknowledging these help you to begin to transform? How can you approach God with confidence and with trust, even when you don't fully understand the solution to the problem? What is God asking you to do that requires obedience, even if it doesn't make sense at first? How can trusting Jesus, even in confusion, lead to an unexpected transformation in your life? And in what ways are you actively trusting Christ to transform your life? And how do you see the best wine still ahead? On the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Dear woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied, "My time has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now." This is the first of his miraculous signs Jesus performed in Cana in Galilee. He thus revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him. Last week, we talked about from river to renewal, and this week we will look at from water to wine, trusting into transformation. So imagine you're at a wedding. The music is playing, the guests are laughing, and everybody's having a great time. The bride is beautiful, the groom is clean and sharp, and everything feels perfect. Ceremony was breathtaking, but now you're entering into the reception. And it started. Light jazz dinner music is playing, and the servers are making their way through the crowd with glasses of wine, until you notice that the tray that comes to you is empty. You glance at the table next to you, and they've got empty glasses too. The whispers start. Are they out? Is the wine gone? Is there no more to drink? Someone laughs nervously, trying to make light of it, but you can see the news spreading, and so is the embarrassment. And suddenly the celebration itself seems fragile. Like the joy in the room in this one bad moment and one more empty glass, the joy is evaporating. Here's the thing. You are the host. You're the host of the wedding. This is your party, and you have no idea how to fix it. The wine is out. The wine trays are empty. And this is where the story, the wedding of Cana in Galilee, begins. Not with joy, but with a problem. But the truth is, what looks like disaster is actually a perfect setup for Jesus to reveal his power. And let me say that again for you. What looks like a problem is the perfect setup for Jesus to reveal his power. The obstacle is an opportunity. What looks like a challenge is, in fact, a chance for change. What seems like a difficulty is actually a door to discovery. This miracle of turning water into wine is about much more than keeping a party going. Hey, Sherry, I just read your card today. Thank you. Is anybody outside? Good morning. Oh, they are. Dang it. Oh, I was hoping I did not hear. I wasn't up here when they came in, and so I'll just get it over with right now. No, I'm good. I'm a G. I'm tough. Thank you. God bless you. There you go. No. This. Huh? Hey, it's cold out here. I'm just saying. What did I tell you? I know I don't. I might not stay out here long. That's not working. There it is. So this miracle is about much more than keeping a party going. It's about transformation. It's about taking what's ordinary and what's inadequate and turning it into something more than that, something extraordinary and something that's abundant. Jesus says in John 10:10, we talked about that, I think, last week. I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And so today, the story about wine and water and wine is not about water and wine, but this story really is about you and me. It's about our emptiness and about how God wants to come and fill those empty vessels in us, those parts, those jugs of our life, if you will, that are broken, that are empty, that are void. Let me just tell you this. I had a dentist appointment last week, and I had a dentist appointment 2 weeks ago, and my tooth was still hurting, so I went to the dentist, and a new dentist was working on me, and she said, "Oh, I see what's wrong. I think you have a void in your filling." And what she was saying is there was a part of my filling that, although I thought it was filled, was empty, and that emptiness in my filling was causing me pain. Are y'all with me? So not just about the emptiness being filled, but about being refilled and being filled with something that's more, something that's better, and something that's beautiful. And my iPad is getting wet, so I'm going to go in. So today, as we walk through this story, as we look at this story, I want to ask you, I'm not going to ask you, I'm going to tell you, there are empty places in our life. There's vessels, there's stuff that's missing, and I want us to consider that, and I want the Holy Spirit to tell you and show you where those empty things are, those things that we're ashamed of, those things that we're hurt by, those things that lack, that mess, that emptiness, and Jesus is the one who wants to fill those vessels and use it for God's transforming power. So when we deal with this from water to wine issue, this trusting into transformation, the first thing that we've got to recognize is the problem of our condition. The problem of our condition is that on the third day, a wedding took place in Cana. Jesus' mother was there, and his disciples were with him. And when the wine was gone, she said, "They have no more wine." That was her statement to her son. That was her statement to our Savior. And so recognize what the problem is. They were in a predicament. They were in this situation that there was no more wine. The wedding wasn't over, but the wine was out. And what do you do when the situation's not over, but you don't have any more resources? You don't have any more of what you hoped to have. You don't have any more joy. You don't have any more fulfillment. You don't have any more excitement. You don't have any more love for them. You don't have any more. You don't have any more when you're lost. Even in the best moments. They were at a wedding, y'all. They were at a wedding, y'all. I haven't went to too many weddings where I didn't want to be there. I went to some that I didn't want to be there. I said I haven't been to too many. Yeah, all right, thank you, baby. But there was one that I was excited about. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, May 2nd. Yeah, that one, I wasn't missing that for the world. You know Kim, right? Uh-huh. Even in the best moments, don't be surprised when there's a problem. This doesn't seem like it was even an anticipated problem. I'm not even sure how this came about. Think about it, that they're at the wedding. The wedding has been planned. They knew that this was going to happen, but at some point, Jesus' mother says to him, "They have no more wine." What happened? Did somebody forget to go to the store? What was the deal? Did they have a pre-party and they took a little off the top and forgot that they have to replenish? I don't know what went on. Did they underestimate the amount of people that were going to show up? Somehow they were out of wine, and this is a problem. Think about it. In their culture, I'm sure that this was an issue because it was about look and appearance and what you had and having everything together. And you don't run out of wine at a wedding in their custom. How disrespectful. How embarrassing. How just like when the Jewish boy went away, the prodigal son, and that's the power of the story is like he was in with hogs. Like, why would you be around this filthy, evil animal that you're not even supposed to be touching? They ran out of something that they should have had plenty of. This is a problem. There was a problem of their condition. And some of us are empty. Maybe there's some empty jugs in your life. Maybe you don't have the money that people think you do. Maybe your family isn't as put together as people think they are. Maybe your career isn't quite as successful as you want it to be. Maybe the friendships feel more like enemies. Maybe your home isn't as welcoming and as loving. Maybe your social media presence hides more than it reveals. Maybe your mind is crowded with doubt, even when you appear confident. Maybe your heart feels full of love, but others you want to love, but you really don't care about folks. Maybe the dreams that you once had are distant and unachievable. Maybe your achievements don't even bring you fulfillment anymore. You thought this is what you wanted, but life just seems empty. Maybe your jugs are empty. Maybe you've run out of wine. And people around you don't even know it yet, but you're empty. I was talking to a friend recently, and in my conversation with him, I just said, how are things going? He said, they could be better. And he said, they have been better. And then I asked him the question that I always ask people. I said, have they ever been worse? And he said, you know they've been worse, because this is a friend of mine. I've been walking along with him for years. And I said, yeah, they've been worse. I said, but so what would make them better? He goes, well, I need to dig out of this hole. I said, that's interesting. And when he said that, my friend's wine has run out. And as he said to me, I need to dig out of this hole, the Lord gave me a next question, and I've never asked the question before, but I'm going to start to ask this question more often. He said, I need to dig out of this hole. And the question that I asked him next was, what does a shovel look like? If you need to dig out of the hole, what does it look like to get out of the hole? You have run out of wine, my friend, and what is it that you need to get back to where you are? We fall short on our own. And our condition before Christ is incomplete, and insufficient. We can't do this by ourselves. There's a problem, and we don't have what it takes to remedy it. We are empty. So when the wine runs out, where do you turn? They had no more wine. That is the problem of our condition. But there's a power in conversation. The problem is we have run out of wine. But the power is Jesus' mama said, do whatever he tells you to do. Jesus first says, why do you involve me? Woman, the time is not mine yet. And she ignores him. Like, she's like, I'm not listening to you. Just do whatever he tells you to do. This is my boy. He knows what's happening. There's something in the power of her conversation that she's able to say. I don't know if you've ever talked to somebody and you just aren't willing to hear what they're trying to say because you know that there's a better option. You know there's a better plan. You know there's a better resolve. There's a better way to go about this. Yeah. Well, I just don't know. Come on. We had that conversation the other day. Imani didn't want to go somewhere. I was like, come on, let's go. She's like, but I don't. Yeah, come on, let's go. And we just kept, come on, let's go until the going got going. Right? And so sometimes it's good to get with someone and talk through some things, but I'm telling you all the time it's good to get to talk to somebody who has the answer. You know, it's good for me to just chat it up with somebody, but if I can talk to somebody who knows how to get this thing fixed, who knows how to take care of this thing, that's why I want to have a conversation with you before we leave today, because I got something I need you to take care of for me, right? And so we've got to understand this. So conversation, though, takes two things. It takes talking, but it also takes listening. Jesus' mother did something that I think we got to not neglect. She talked to the one who can make a difference. Now, I'm not telling you don't go talk to your friends. I'm not telling you to go don't seek counsel, but you better seek counsel from the one who can make a difference. Interestingly enough, Jesus doesn't act until the need is acknowledged. Think about it. Jesus don't do a thing. He sees what's going on. He probably knew what was going on anyway. Matter of fact, he might have went to the wedding because of what was going on. We don't know that, but Jesus doesn't do a thing until she says, the wine is run out. Why are you bothering me about this? Do whatever he doesn't make a move until the need is acknowledged. I know that he can come to your rescue, but he wants you to talk about your need for rescue. When we are empty, we've got to have a conversation with Christ. Now, since Mary is talking, I want to just have a little quick word about intercession. I don't use that word often. But it's interesting that Mary is talking about this. She says, they have run out of wine. Now, two things. One of these is parenthetical. This is for free. Mary wasn't talking about them. She was talking on their behalf. Did y'all catch it? There's a difference when you see somebody who's broken and talking about them and talking on their behalf. I opened with the whispers and the embarrassment. Mary wasn't in that crowd. Mary was trying to find a solution to their problem, maybe even before other people found out that they had a problem. Mary wasn't the one with the problem. Mary was the one interceding for the problem. She says they. Somebody say they. Everybody say they. Incidentally, when I was doing my bit on Friday night, I asked the people in the crowd to do that, and I said, y'all say one word, and they did it, and I said, everybody say the word. I was like, well, that's how I get the white people in our church to talk back to me like black people do. So for those of you who didn't see the comedy bit, everybody say they. We good? Oh, where was I at? She was having a conversation for them. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said, they have no more wine. What if you see someone else who's empty and you have a conversation for them? Maybe this week you start to pay attention to the broken around you and you have a conversation for them. Maybe when you see them hurting, when you see them broken, when you see them struggling, don't worry about your own wine for a minute, and you go and say, they have run out of wine. I mean, I don't know why it wasn't the master of the banquet who didn't speak up. Why wasn't the servants saying, whoa, we got to do something about this? All of these people probably stole too. I mean, can't you imagine that as they were getting empty in the back room in the kitchen that somebody didn't run out and say, hey, man, listen, we're out. But it was Mary who says they have run out of wine. What I do know, I don't know why they didn't do it, but I know that she was talking to one that she knew could do something about the problem. Maybe they weren't aware. Maybe the people around you don't know the one who can do something about the problem. Maybe that's why you get to be the one to speak on their behalf. Maybe there's times, there's been some times when I've been in church and I'll be sitting in the back and just trying to be quiet and chill, and there'll be music going on, but there's no musician, and the choir's up there singing and whatever, and I'm just chilling and nobody knows who I am. So I think. The pastor doesn't know me, choir director doesn't know me, but I'll get a note slid to me, or I'll have somebody say, hey, come up and play. And I'm like, what? That's, matter of fact, how I started playing in Muskegon. Nobody knew who I was until one person sent a message to somebody and told them, this dude is around and he knows how to play. And all of a sudden, somebody invoked that thing in me to do what I need to do. Mary was the one who knew the one who could do what needed to be done. And so you got to know that we might be the ones to have the conversation, and we are the ones that we have permission. In Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16 says, let us approach the throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. We are the ones who have permission. I love when Mary sees the condition. She has the conversation. And she has it on the premise that she's confident in the one who can do something about it. So there's a problem of our condition, there's a power of conversation, and thirdly, there's a process of complying. We often know that there's a condition. We often have the conversation, and then we don't do nothing about it. Friday night, I told another joke. I wasn't even planning to say any of that, but one of the jokes I said was I work as a pastor, and I also work as a school administrator, so my jobs are telling people what to do and how to do that, and they ignore me. It's what typically happens. There's a process in complying. When you get the answer, when you hear the revelation, when you know the right path to go, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, he will acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And then you go the other way. So there's a process in complying. So nearby stood these 6 water jugs, right? They could hold 20 to 30. And he says, fill the jars with water. So they filled them to the brim and told him. Now, what if he would have said, fill the jars with water, and they wouldn't have done it? There's a couple things to notice. What we need is always available, and sometimes we might have to use unexpected things. The jars have been there the whole time, but they couldn't use them for what they needed to be used for because they didn't have the power to do what needed to be done. But the jars themselves had been there the whole time. So understand that God has things in place already to be used. And they might be things that you don't expect to happen. I think all of us, if we're older than 15 years old, can reflect on a situation where something happened and something was used unexpectedly, maybe even that seemed negative, to get you into a place where you are. You're moving, you live in Muskegon now because of something that you didn't want, and now that you're here, it's something better. Or you have a certain situation. I have a friend who lost his job because of something he did, and because he lost his job, his whole life is better. He never wanted that situation, never expected that situation, but because of what happened, he's in this. Jesus instructs the servants to fill the jars with water and trust him to do the rest. Transformation happens when we obey Christ, even when we don't fully understand it. And here's the problem. The problem is we get the marching orders, we get the direction, and we start making excuses. Them jugs? You talking about the ceremonial washing jugs. You talking about the jugs that we're only supposed to use for what? No, we're not putting no water in that for this. No, I don't know what you think you about to do. You know, folks start to get funny because they start to make excuses because they don't see or understand. Are you sure that this is safe? Those jugs have been sitting around for a long time. I'm not sure that we want to do anything with those. They might be dirty. We haven't cleaned them yet. They're heavy. I'm not moving those jugs. I'm not lifting that. Do you know how long it took us to get them there? There is no way we're refilling those again. We have all of these excuses. But transformation is in obedience. Transformation is in obedience. And here's the big truth. There is no change without transformation. 2 quotes I want to share with you. One's by an unknown author. Every next level of your life will demand a different version of you. I got mad at myself when I read that last night, right? And it's an unknown quote, so that was by me. Every next level of your life, I'm going to read it twice, so now I say, somebody said, and as I always say, every next level of your life will demand a different version of you. And the other quote by Jim Rohn, who's a motivational speaker and a rich dude. Your life does not get better by chance. Your life gets better by change. So move in the process to comply. So in order to comply, let me just give you 3 things. You have to decide, you have to begin, and you have to continue. Hear it? You got to decide. Young people, y'all listen to me? You have to decide, you have to begin, and you have to continue. Now, let me just give you a little 53-year-old lesson, right? 53 as in like bad back, thrown out hip, old man, 53-year-old lesson. You have to decide. Most of us can do that. Most of us see things that need to be changed, things that need to be different, things that need to be transformed. We see that. But then you have to begin. You got to jump over the hill. You got to hop to it. You got to do something different if you want something different. And that's not always, most of the time, it's not going to be easy. That's going to be something that is going to require you to step outside of doing what you've always done. And then you've got to continue. And continuing is so hard when it's hard. Ain't that good? Continuing is hard when it's hard. I usually, and I got to call you Alex because your dad is here. Right? I usually, don't laugh at me, that's what I was going to say, don't get past the third day of a workout. Like I'm going to say every year, I stopped saying it like 10 years ago, but say, yep, I'm going to start. I'm going to go to the gym, buy a gym membership, and I go to that second day. Yeah, it's consistency. But you know why I stop? Because I lift usually. Because I'm sore. I'm sore on the third day because I haven't been using those muscles and I'm hurting. And I'm like, this doesn't feel good. So if I stop, it will stop hurting. Ain't that the silliest thing? But it's true. If I stop, it will stop hurting. But I won't get better. Y'all hear that? That's the line in the sermon today. If I stop, it will stop hurting, but I won't get better. There's a process in this thing. So many of you have heard me say this, in order to change, first you have to make yourself do, then you will want to do, and then you'll have to do. Right? And that have to is out of passion, out of devotion, out of wisdom. And so will you follow God's lead even when it seems crazy? Transformation requires faith and action, working together. Let me just tell you this. A pack of ramen noodles, anybody eat ramen noodles? Right? Okay, good. So it's like a mystery wrapped in plastic, right? Right? I mean, like you open a package and you got some dry, a brick of noodles. Anybody, I've wanted to do this. I've never done it. Y'all probably, you look like you probably have done this before. Yeah, you, yeah. You ever eaten it dry? Oh, you have? Okay, all right. Anybody else in here ever done that? Really? Yeah, I've wanted to, but I just couldn't. So you got this dry brick of noodles, right? And then you got this silver package of seasoning, which I really usually want to eat that by itself because that stuff is good. But you don't know what that is. They call it beef or chicken or whatever, but I mean, really, it's powder, right? So you're looking at this little tiny, first of all, here's my first question. The first time I ever ate ramen noodles, I believe, my first question was, how in the world is this little tiny thing going to season all that? Right. That's a whole lot of noodles for that little tiny, did they leave a package out? I need another one. So I did open another package just in case I could have, and somebody was going to be just out of some seasoning for their noodles, but it wasn't going to be me. But you look at this, you got dry noodles, this weird package, and then you read the directions. And it says apply water and heat. Apply water and heat, and transformation begins. And then you get a meal. You don't know how it happens. You don't see it working, but something else does it because you follow the directions. When I go home today, I think I'm going to put together Imani's vanity that I bought her for Christmas. She's been bugging me. Put it together. Part of this is going to be a little not expected in what I'm about to say. But she was bugging me last week, and I said, Imani, I can't put it together right now because I can't concentrate on doing what needs to be done. I said, if I take it out of the box right now, we're going to lose something. And if we lose one piece of this, we won't get this put together. Y'all know how that stuff is. I said, I have to have concentration and enough time to devote to this so that the transformation from what's in this box can become what we want. But we won't want to do that. We want it instantly. We want it instantaneously. We got this problem of our condition. We got the power of a conversation. We got the process of us complying. And finally, we got the product of our conversation. or excuse me, the product of our conversion. You got it on your paper. The product of our conversion. So just quickly, the master tastes this and goes, wait, this is good. Most people leave the bad wine to the end, but this is even better. But this miracle isn't about the wine. It's about Jesus revealing his glory. So what should come out of a new thing? What should come out of transformation? Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 and 16, you are the light of the world. A city on a hill that cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl instead. And it goes on and it says, in the same way, let your light so shine before men that they will glorify or see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 through 5, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. Each of you should look not to your own interest, but to the interests of others. Your attitude should be the same as Jesus Christ. In Ephesians chapter 4, you were taught with the regard of your own former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupt in its deceitful desires, and put on a new attitude in your minds, and put on a new self, created to be like God. In John chapter 15, verse 8, this is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. What should come out of a new thing? We should be different. We should be valued. We should be better. I love the line he says, they have saved the best till now. The old wine didn't seem bad until they tasted the new wine. Ain't that something? They weren't talking about this new wine being better until they tasted it after they had experienced. They were just fine with what they were just fine with what they had until they realized something better was there. Come on, y'all. That's the second line. They were just fine until they realized there was something gooder. The old wine was adequate until they experienced something better. I'm not going to go into the story, but y'all have heard me tell the story about me and my ex. And I thought that was fine until I met great, until I met wonderful, until I met beautiful, until I met Shari. For those that didn't hear, she said, you already got her, man. You good. You already got her. Hey, you got to do what you did to get her to keep her. Woo! And that was for some of y'all. That's right. Don't be satisfied with regular, and don't panic when you run out. So God has situated us here in Muskegon, on this corner, new life. We sing, we serve, we worship. What's the level of our wine? Are we full? Or do we just think we are? When Jesus transforms you, people may not always recognize it's his hand at work. So I want you to see what's happening here in the text, and I'm almost done. The master at the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. This is in verse 9. And he did not realize where it had come from, though the servants knew. They called the bridegroom aside and said, everyone brings out the choice wine first and the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink, but you've saved the best till now. And this is the first of the miraculous signs that Jesus performed. He thus revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him. And so when you're transformed, people aren't always going to know where it came from. They may look at you and say, wow, you got it all together. You've come a long way. You've done so well. Things are looking good. You must have planned this. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it wasn't your strength or your strategy, but it was Jesus taking your emptiness and filling it with his abundance. So as we leave today, transformation isn't just about a moment. It's a process that we trust him with the empty jars of our life. We be obedient to him even when it doesn't make sense. And when he brings the miracle, let his glory shine through us. The best wine, the best version of Christ in your life isn't behind you. It hasn't even been seen yet. And Jesus has saved the best till now. In John 10:10, I quoted earlier, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So let's receive that in its fullness. Thanks be to God. All right, y'all. The wine has run out, but the opportunity for you to talk has not. Any thoughts, comments? So those of you who are visitors here, this is a moment where we actually offer people an opportunity to share thoughts, comments, questions about the sermon. A little trepidatious for me, because y'all might ask me something I don't want to talk about. But anybody have any thoughts? You don't have to. This is that weird time in a sermon, like at a funeral where nobody talks. Yeah.
I'm curious, as you were preparing this,
Hold on just a second. Let me make sure. Yeah, there it is. There we go.
I'm curious, as you were prepping this, what struck you the most?
Um,
Or what's your greatest takeaway from
Thank
this?
you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. This isn't Friday morning, Dave. Now, before I answer your question, I appreciate that. I'm an open book, and I love when people challenge me where I am. So my greatest takeaway was, Joe, where are you empty? Like for real. Like I know that in most of my world, in most of my interactions, people look at me as if I have it all together. And I don't. I'm broken. And so I had to think. I'm just crying because I'm emotional. It's my 7-week or month thing. Like where is it that I'm empty? And what's my shovel? Like when I asked my friend that, I wasn't just asking him. The Lord was talking to me. So yeah, it was, where am I empty? And what am I going to do about that? Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, I wrote down the questions. Do I believe he can do it? Will I trust him to do it? Am I willing to wait for him to do it? And will I continue to pursue him if he doesn't do it? Because sometimes I have in my mind what he ought to do, and he has a different idea.
Will I continue to do it if he doesn't do it?
Will I continue to pursue him?
Pursue him if he doesn't do it.
Do it.
So Robbie and I had a conversation on Wednesday, and I thanked him for our partnership on Sunday mornings sometimes. Sometimes he says things that evoke, thoughts and ideas. So I just would like to partner with you on that. Will I pursue him if he doesn't do it? And will I continue to pursue him if he does?
Yeah.
Because
okay, I got what I want, so I'm quit.
That part.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
Right. One right here.
I was convicted by what you had said about Mary interceding for them, and just taking the opportunity to look outside at others. Our prayers, like especially right before dinner, seem to be like all focused around us, our family, and just our home, our family unit. And so that makes me think, to look outward more.
Yeah. See, I remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about that, and I was like, I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but we pray for those things that are close to us, and we want those things to be handled, and don't always focus on those other things. Like we're in Michigan, and if you don't have family that lives in California, are you really thinking about it? I'm gonna say this isn't a political statement, but how many of you who did not vote for Trump are praying for Trump? If you ain't, you better be. Either way that goes, listen, every time I hear somebody say something like, I hope he fails, that is a ridiculous statement. Because as the president goes, so do we, right? And y'all better not be praying for your pastor to fail. That was just a little side. Slick Ricky? Sorry.
So what do you do when you struggle with the ingredients being used for your wine?
Ooh. Well, okay. My wine or your wine? I think you have to step back and make sure that the ingredients has been provided by the right giver, right? So Jesus was the one who said, fill this with water. And that's all they did. He handled the rest. So he was the one who made the ingredients. What we do is we try to say, well, I know he's going to also need, so let me go ahead and try to step in the way and try to add to it. And we don't need to add to it.
Yeah.
We got that. And I think you used a word earlier, Robbie, that was patience.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got to sit back and wait.
Yeah.
Right.
The other side of that, for me at least, one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn, I don't need anything other than what he chooses to provide. I have an idea of here's what I need the ingredients to be for me to feel good. But I need to trust him, and I realize I don't need anything other than what he chooses to provide.
And the operative word is anything.
Yeah.
I don't need anything other than what he chooses to
because
we could spend the next 45 minutes saying, all right, well, let's just use an example. All right, I was working my job, I've been faithful to God, blah, 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 and all of a sudden I'm short on money. So I go out and try to hustle up. I do all these things, and I haven't even consulted God, right? And so we try to add to make sure, but I don't need anything except for what he's providing. And sometimes what he's providing is me to grow in patience by being in that place of anxiety, by not knowing. I mean, I'm personally a person that as long as I know, I'm confident. And so one of the best things that's happened for me in the last 6 months is going to that comedy show on Friday night. That was the most uneasy that I've been in a scenario in probably years. Because I set myself up to be in scenarios where I'm very comfortable. I don't put myself, and for as much as y'all know that I stand in front of people and talk, not in that situation. Like that was very much out of my comfort zone to try to tell jokes in front of people and use the timing and all that. I was the only person on stage with notes, like holding them. I had my phone up there like, I gotta have this close to me, which was definitely my security blanket. I was not going on stage without that. But that's the thing is what is it that we add to? What ingredients do we put in there?
Yeah, and there's an element of we want to know what's going to happen. We want to know what tomorrow is. I remember 50 years ago when I was thinking about where to go to college, somebody asked me, a very wise person said, wouldn't it be great if you knew what you're going to be doing 10 years from now so you could make a good decision about where you're going? And I said, man, that would be great. And he said, it'd be the worst thing could ever happen to you, because if you know where you're going to be in 10 years, you don't trust for tomorrow. So,
yeah, but we want to know.
Yeah.
We want to know.
In terms of, I guess, being filled, or having those jugs filled over the past number of days for me, I've just been questioning and saying, okay, God, what's going on? What is happening through Youth for Christ and the ministry that I'm involved with? And I knew Angela was going to be here this morning, so I'm thankful for that. But I didn't know Isaiah and Kyron were going to show up.
Hey.
So those are three of the young people who went to camp that I had talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So God did a thing for me today, and I'm just very grateful for that.
Amen. Thanks for that testimony. Yeah, and that's exactly it, because you're wondering, and he's answering in a way that you didn't even expect. And that's what he does. That's what he does. There's been times when I preached a sermon here on Sunday, y'all, and I promise you, I left here like, that's the last one. Like that was horrible. Like I felt in my bones, like I don't know that I preached a worse sermon. And I'm not even sure how I feel about what I'm about to say next. But then that's the time when y'all are like, oh, Joe, that moved me. Yeah. But that's because I need to stop thinking about what I did and let him do what he's doing. Yeah. Any other thoughts? All right, well, we're going to sing and we're going to worship the Lord in music. If you want to give to New Life today, you can do it at the white box right there. If you're online, you can give at PayPal, NLCC of Muskegon at paypal.com. PayPal hasn't been shut down, so you can do that. Let's stand and worship the Lord together. Put your hands together. Right here. Oh, 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Very good, Becca. Here we go. Let's sing it. Water you turned into wine. Water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. And no one like you. No, 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 none like you. Come on, let's sing it. Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Come on, yeah! Sing it again. Water you turned into wine. Water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. Come on, if you love him today. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, sing it again. Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in, here we go. Our God, come on. And if our God is for us, and if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Yeah, what can stand? What can stand against? Come on, let's sing it. Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, hey! Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Didn't realize it ended on G. We can start on G. Your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. This is our song for this week. Your faithfulness stretches to the sky. Your righteousness is like a mighty mountain. Yeah. Your justice flows like the ocean's tide. And I will lift my voice to worship you, my King. And I will find my strength in the shadow of your wings. Sing the verse again. Your love, O Lord. Your love, O Lord, reaches to the heavens. Your faithfulness stretches to the sky. Your righteousness like a mighty mountain. Yeah. Your justice flows like the ocean's tide. Come on, if you love him, lift your voice. And I will lift my voice to worship you, my King. And I will find my strength in the shadow of your wings. Sing that again. I will lift and I will lift my voice to worship you, my King. And I will find my strength in the shadow of your wings. 'Cause your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. Your faithfulness stretches to the sky. I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along. What did he do? Put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing, yeah, better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Oh, let's sing it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. My weakness, my failures and flaws, Lord, you see them all. And you still call me friend. Thank you, Jesus. You're the God of the mountain. You're the God of the valleys. There's not a place that mercy and grace won't find me again. There's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Hey, nothing is better than you. Sing that again. There's nothing. Oh, there's nothing better. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Oh, come on, let's sing to him. You turn my morning. Sing it. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn. You're the only one who cares. You turn graves into gardens. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one. Come on, you turn mourning to dancing. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame. You're the only God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on God. 'Cause he won't give up on you. Exceedingly, woo, abundantly, above all you can ask or think. Come on, worship him today. According to, it's his power, it's his power. The power, yeah, that worketh in you. Come on, everybody sing it. God is able. God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise. Hey, come on. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on God. 'Cause he won't give up on. Sing it. Oh, he's able. He's able. Come on, just repeat that. Sing it. Say, he's able. 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 Don't you bow. Don't you bend. In the end, you're gonna win. He's able. He's able. He's able. He's able. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on. Come on, you sing that. No, 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 don't give up. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on. Even in those hardest of times, don't give up. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't. 'Cause he won't give up on you. 'Cause he's able. You've been walking the same old road for miles and miles. If you've been hearing the same old voice tell the same old lies, if you're trying to fill the same old holes inside, you know what? There's a better life. There's a better life. Right. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's the way. Come on, you need freedom. If you need freedom for saving, he's a Savior. If you got chains, he's a chain break. Come on. Here we go. We've all searched for the light of day in the dead of night. We all found from the same old fight. Hey! We all run to things we know just ain't right. You know you do it. You know you do it. There's a better life. Come on. Come on. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. Come on. If you feel lost, he's If you need freedom, you need freedom from saving. He's a prison shaking savior. Got chain. Here we go. He's a chain breaker. Anybody in this house today know that he's a chain breaker? You know that he's lifted some stuff off of you? You're not the person. You got some new wine in you? Come on. Come on. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. Ooh, if you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. Come on, sing that with us. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. One more. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. Hey! If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, he's the way. Come on, if you need freedom, say, let's do it again. Right. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. Come on, if you feel lost, he's the way. Come on, if you need freedom, we're done. If you got chain, he's a chain breaker. Yeah. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.
They say sometimes